My best job up till now has been the Prime Minister's house in the Prime Minister's office in Central Delhi. People don't allow you to work outside. When the moment you start working, there's a lot of competition that comes in.
Explain your journey more. How did you get the first order, second order? How did you go about? You expected 1.5 months. The payment came in 5 months. So how did you work out the working capital?
So, like I told, I did a few side businesses.
No, I'm very happy to see my student coming up so well. It's quite a long time, and we were in a Gurgaon campus at the time with very limited facilities, but we did a good job. And many of the students at that time also become entrepreneur. Shreeish, particularly in this area, the way he has done, he's in a very niche area where he has done fantastic work. I really feel proud of the students. I have got a highest respect for the students who become entrepreneur. And as you know, entrepreneurs solve problem of society and get paid. That's precisely what he has done. And he chose a very niche area depending on his competence and the problem which he faced in the society. That's what he did pretty well. So we are here to learn from your experience because I'm more on the academic side. We like to learn from you back to the teachers on the students what your journey has been. You can start with that was your journey. How did you, let's say, immediately after your MBA here, what did you start and how did the idea of the entrepreneurship enter your head?
So, as I told, after my journey with Great Lakes, I got placed with Deloitte. I worked for 1.5 years with Deloitte, and geology, geophysics was already my background. I worked as a geophysicist prior to my PGDM over here, and as soon as while working in Deloitte, I wanted to become an entrepreneur because the moment I came out of Great Lakes, this was already in me that I have to start something of my own. So it's while working, looking at various project opportunities, I got this opportunity, and yeah, I got an opportunity to work straight with Reliance Jio. So Reliance Jio was still at its initial stage, and they were putting their fiber networks pan India, all over India, and they required partners in order to help them out for the subsurface mapping. As I had good connections prior to my MBA, when I was working as a geophysicist, I had established good connections with Reliance Jio. So I got this opportunity to work with them, and I started. This is how I started.
Now, Jio is a very well established company. Uh, why did they choose you? What problem was really given to you?
Okay, as you know,
Because remember, entrepreneurs do not talk about product or services, they talk about problems. Unless they had got a problem, why should they consult him?
Sir, as you are aware, earlier, any kind of connection, any kind of underground connection, whether it's fiber networks, whether it is water pipelines, power lines, or any kind of underground connection, earlier labor used to come, used to manually dig the earth, and they used to put their connections. But the problem with all those type of man work was that it would basically degrade the environment a lot. All your public property is broken. There was a lot of pollution that was created. After that, government had just made it very mandatory that all of these companies who are going to put their underground connections, they're going to do an horizontal drilling. Now, a very good thing with horizontal drilling is that your connections are established and there's no pollution that is created. But you don't know what kind of connection underground is going ahead of you. Okay, it can be a power cable, it can be an OFC cable. If your luck is bad, it can even be a gas pipeline that's going right in front of you. But the moment the drill bit touches any kind of underground infrastructure, it is bound to break. So, okay, OFC water pipeline, the damage is small. But what if it's a power line? It's a gas line. It's a big loss. It can be a loss of infrastructure, loss of life. So Reliance had basically appointed me in order to scan and map all the underground utilities of all those areas where there were gas pipelines, where there were power lines. And till then, the infrastructure had grown so much in India that there were gas pipelines and power lines almost everywhere in the country. So so this was very mandatory for them in order to do this underground mapping before they started with the work.
Actually, this is a very niche area. And I recall I had some work with the RMSI company. They were in this area only because when the long pipe are laid or big works are done running into, let's say, 100 kilometers or so, it's very difficult to do everything physically. I agree with you. That's where the expertise is really required, and they came to you to do this network. Because a journey of an entrepreneur is not very simple. Problems are bound to come. Can you elaborate a few problems which came to you, and how did you solve it? Problem may be due to the on account of the your own team internal. Problems may be with the environment. Problem may be the legal aspect in any area. What problems you came across, and how did you solve them? That's where the creativity really lies.
So the problems were endless, sir. I
No,
mean,
but you
problems
count a
started
few.
with day one, right from getting a team, motivating them to do work. It's not easy for people to start working under a new organization. Obviously, people don't know it's whether the organization is going to be stable or not. So it may be for 10 days, 15 days, perhaps for just one project, and then the organization may shut down. So motivating the team, giving training them, motivating them, making sure that they are in the company because the attrition rate is also very high, making sure that they stick with you. So there were challenges. It started with a lot of challenges. Then another problem came was people don't allow you to work outside. When the moment you start working, there's a lot of competition that comes in. So you basically fix a rate. You already have competitors in the market who are ready to work at a lower rate. Now, in order to convince your client that your work is quality wise is going to be better, and in order to tell him that this rate that you've given him would is basically worth the quality you're giving him, and it's worth the quality he requires. That's also one other
No,
challenge.
no. Let's come back to the initial issue, the team building. What are the qualities you looked after when you made your team?
The first and foremost quality that I looked after when I made my team was first the person should have a good background record. He should have a good experience. Third, his willingness to learn. Fourth, his willingness to adapt to different kind of situations. Uh, Fifth, he has a hustling nature like I have. And sixth and foremost thing that he should be loyal and he should stay. That was a very important thing that I was looking into. So, very major reasons that when I build up the team, most of the people were uh, my own juniors whom I had trained before.
Okay, then explain your journey more. How did you get the first order, second order? How did you go about?
Okay, so first order I got it from Reliance Jio. I was fortunate enough, like I told you, I already had connections, and I had a strong network prior to my MBA. And also, the company that I was working in, he also helped me out. He also introduced me to various people in Reliance Jio, and I was fortunate enough to back that contract. Challenges started. Then a very major challenge that started from there is that the payment cycle was a little delayed. Reason of that is that I earlier thought that the payment cycle would be for 1.5 months, but during that tenure, the payment cycle was for 5 to 6 months. For me, as a newcomer, so to sustain for those 5 to 6 months was difficult. Then second, once I completed this first contract of Reliance Jio, I got an offer from the Smart City, from the Gurgaon Smart City Development Project, where again, it was a similar kind of a work where I had to map all the underground utilities of the Gurgaon city and put them on bring them on a GIS platform. Uh, if you have used platforms like Google Earth and Google Maps, you have all the information related to the surface. My agenda over here was to bring all the subsurface information on platforms like Google Maps and Google Earth.
So he's basically an underground man, not in the wrong sense, but he works underground. And no, one thing is very important, the networking. You recall, even Dr. Bala talked again and again. Your network is your net worth. How did you leverage your networking?
So I'm still networking. I'm still doing that. I believe that networking is the backbone of your business. The more you network with people, the more you educate them about your business, the more better it's a free marketing. And if you network well, you're bound to get success, and you're bound to get help. So and there are people outside who actually help you. Network well with them, they actually help you out. So I would emphasize with people that please network, please don't shy. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to uh, be a good manager, you want to do good business development, networking is the key. Please try to network as much as possible. The more you network, the more people are educated about you and your business also. And second thing is that every person, trust builds up. Like once you network with a person, he talks to you, he knows that he's trustworthy. So in the market, it is very important to build up that trust. And people don't want to take a chance, whether it's your clients, whether it's an investor, he does not want to take a chance because when he's investing so much of money, he wants that the project should be safe. He's ready to invest a little bit more. At the same time, he doesn't want his investment to go down the drain.
That means the trustworthiness.
Trustworthiness, yeah.
And trustworthiness, how do you prove your trustworthiness?
First and foremost thing is that once you educate them about your work, you tell them, you just give them a little bit of background about yourself, tell them how the technology works, how it is going to benefit them. The moment he is able to understand the person is educated, he knows what he is doing, he's trust. He builds up that trustworthy because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in my field, they don't actually know what they're doing. It's just that they look at the market analysis, they feel that this is a growing field, so let's start something in this. Whether they know it or whether they don't know it, they just start in that. So getting business in something that you don't know is going to be difficult.
No, that means trustworthy comes through delivering results.
To
Whatever
delivering,
you promise, you are able to do it.
delivering good quality results as well as having knowledge in that particular field. So that's how once you deliver good quality results. Okay, one thing very good about Geoin services is that our client attrition rate is 90%.
Attrition rate is 90%.
Client attrition rate is 90%. Once a client gets a job done from us, he again comes back. There have been many clients who have, because of low rates, must have gone somewhere else, but they've again come back
No, I'll
because
not
of the
call it
quality of work.
attrition rate. I'll say
Retention.
retention.
Yeah, sorry, client
Retention.
retention rate. Yeah, the client retention rate is 90%.
So that means basically you have to build the trustworthiness by delivering what you have promised.
By delivering good quality results, managing the client well, and at the same time delivering it in time.
Coming forward, you started a small business, small one. How did you upgrade your, that means how did you enlarge your work? Because there are many things, you know. You need capital assets, you need working capital, you need more people. How did you tackle them?
Okay, so initially I started with a very small amount of saving, and I started as a geological and geophysical firm. Side by side, I started taking projects related to GIS, 3D modeling, geotechnical. I already had an established network. I started outsourcing the work and outsourcing the work to good people whom I know. And this was the way I was growing it. There were times, yes, there were times where my finances were not very good, and I had to build up. But then I taken help, sir. I taken help. I taken a few loans from the bank. Just made sure that it works out well because I knew I had no plan B. And at the same time, I was even given a few consultation services also in other companies. I was giving trainings to schools and colleges. Uh, and this is how I was just building up. So there was some side work and side businesses that I was doing at the same time.
One more question. How much money you start with? And how did you raise the money at different levels? Let's give an idea of the quantum.
So initially, I started with a saving of say around 4 to 5 lakhs. The equipments and all, I had taken it on rent. I had not purchased it on my own.
Okay.
So the equipment was all rented. And fortunately, my ex-boss whom I was working with prior to my MBA, he had given me the equipments on rent, and he had told me once you get the money, you can pay it back to me. And once the project was delivered, the quality was good. I got a good amount of money from the first project I had done, and yeah, I took the decision of, rather than renting, I took the decision of purchasing it, and this is how I started. So that was the first equipment I purchased. I purchased a already used equipment, old equipment from him, and I started it.
And no, you particularly mentioned that means the the expected cycle of the money incoming was very low. You expected 1.5 months, the payment came in 5 months. So how did you work out the working capital?
So like I told, I did a few side businesses. I did a few trainings in schools.
That's creativity. That means as a startup, you have to solve many problems in many areas. Did you raise the money through your friends, family, and
through family?
Bank?
Yes, through family. Yes, I had taken a small business loan from the bank. So I took some help, some finances from my mother, and at the same time, I was giving trainings in schools and colleges.
Can you give me a rough idea of the money you took from various sources, if it's not secret?
Yeah, so it was not a lot of money. I raised around 5 to 6 lakhs. Half I had taken it as a business loan from the bank, and half I had taken it from my mom.
And in your journey, let's say for the new entrepreneurs, what's your advice? What are the learnings you have done in your, because you're no, before that, entrepreneurship is not about success. Entrepreneurship is also learned through the many failures. Will you like to share some of the problem which you could not solve? What did you learn from them?
Okay, so there have been a few failures in my entrepreneurship journey. I'll give you an example about the uh, PMCH project that I was working. So Patna Medical College and Hospital, which is on the verge of becoming the second largest hospital in the world in a few years. So we had backed a contract for PMCH, and this was in
What
2020.
what is PMCH?
Patna Medical College and
Okay,
Hospital.
yeah.
So it was we had backed the project during the peak of COVID in 2021, where COVID was actually very ugly and it was devastating. So during that tenure, since we were supposed to work in the hospital campus, it was a very challenging time. I myself suffering from COVID, and also at the same time motivating my team to work in a government hospital during the peak of COVID, where there were patients that were coming in, going out, and it was a direct exposure during that time. So motivating my team was also something that was very difficult. So I had to motivate them, talk to their families, because the family members were also very much worried, making sure that they are all safe, nothing's going to happen. I made sure that all they get their vaccinations in time, all the vaccinations, everything is given to them properly in time. So this is how I took care of them. Second, during that tenure, what happened is one thing I missed out was the client handling. And a very important part of every project is how you handle the people, how you handle your client. So it's basically the client handling was something that I could not concentrate a lot on. And during that tenure, Patna was hit by two back-to-back cyclones also, which further delayed the work. I assume that the client will understand that this is the reason why the project is getting delayed. I assumed it and I did not handle it well. So that was one failure which resulted in a 30% loss for me in that project, because the deliverables were not in time. And in time, I could not educate my clients and tell them that I could not, in short, I could not handle them well and tell them that these are all the challenges that I'm facing.
So that means in a COVID environment, which was highly challenging, did you go to the field yourself also?
I went to the field
Yes.
myself
So
also.
that's very important, That means you have to set examples. Motivation
Then
is when you set examples, only then people will follow.
motivation was done face to face. I had to stay with my team for at least 15 to 16 days, making sure that they are all safe. Once I was sure that they are safe and the working environment is proper, I then came back. So that is how they got motivated to work. Otherwise, they would have not worked. It was very difficult.
What are your plans for any plans for expansion of your business in times to come and the time frame?
Yeah, there are a lot of plans. So we have just started with mineral exploration and mining. And my plan, like always, has been to touch the oil and gas sector. So yeah, so we are working upon it. So we earlier started with the investigation to say about 10 to 15 meters of depth. Now we are able to touch to a depth of 200 to 250 meters. We have done a lot of projects for archaeological investigation in Kashi and in the south, both. We are working overseas. We have done a few projects in Saudi Arabia. So one of the projects that we worked in Saudi Arabia was for the line project. We have started taking a few government projects also. So we were a part
So
of
line project means basically the prospecting.
the line project in
Pro-
Saudi Arabia.
prospecting job.
Yeah, prospecting job.
Could you find something there?
Saudi Arabia is empty. We did not find anything much there except for a few stones over there, few sand rocks over there. Nothing much, nothing. But they wanted to do it for their own purpose. They wanted to know the subsurface soil also. So it was good for building roads. It was fine. Not
Okay,
anything.
Shreeish, I like you to finally uh, share a very good example of the best job you've done so far in entrepreneurship.
Okay, my best job up till now has been the Prime Minister's house in the Prime Minister's office in Central Delhi. That was one project that was handled very well.
That means they allowed you to do PM's house.
Yeah, they allow. So PM's house is the new.
Share a bit more on this.
So
I'll
the
be interested in
new,
that.
so the new PM house is into construction. So it's entirely upon my master plan, and the whole subsurface investigation has been done by me. Then another good project that I've worked upon recently has been the high-speed railway project, the high-speed railway corridor project connecting Mumbai to Ahmedabad. So we have done a subsurface investigation for a depth of 200 meters, where on the basis of our designs, the whole tunnel planning is being done, and that's another good project that we have worked upon. Third is like the Saudi project that we have worked upon. So these are a few good projects that we have worked upon, and most of our projects have been a success. So 90% of our projects have been a success. I would say that 100% of our projects have been a success. There's not been any failure up till now.
Shreeish, my observation is you are spreading your things in a too much spectrum. What's the area you like to focus in the future? Because any organization, you must have your focus area where you want to grow.
So geophysics is a focus area, and like I told that my main aim and my main focus area is to go into oil and gas exploration. So I would like to stick with exploration in the field of geophysics. So that's one focus area.
Thank you. I feel very proud that one of our students has done so well, and that too in an area which is a high-tech area comparatively, and entry levels are also barriers are very high. It's very difficult to enter this area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.